According to the podcast Get Your Geek On, in a shareholders report, Disney CEO Bob Iger talked about visiting the Star Wars Episode VII set and gave new info about the release dates for the upcoming Star Wars films. In it, Iger said the following: "As one of the few people allowed to visit the set during filming, and one of the fewer who's seen most of the footage, I can assure the millions of Star Wars fans who have spent the last decade hoping for a new movie that this one will be well worth the wait. And it's only the beginning of a new era of exceptional Star Wars storytelling. Next year, we'll release our first standalone movie based on these characters, followed by Star Wars Episode VIII in 2017, and we'll finish this trilogy with Episode IX in 2019. Dennis, does this information sound credible? And if so, what do you make of it?"
Even though I'm not familiar with Get Your Geek On podcast, the reason why I believe this news is that it's not really like kind of earth-shattering, Spider-Man to appear in Civil War, rights go back to Marvel type of news. So it's kind of pointless to make something like this up. Also, it's a podcast, so it's not like they're a website trying to make like clickbait to get people to come in, and they post it on their Facebook, which doesn't really show where their actual podcast is. So it seems like an odd thing for someone to make up. As far as the news is concerned, it's something we've kind of speculated on AMC Movie Talk before about this kind of franchising. Like they're taking on Star Wars like the way they're doing the Marvel franchises. Like let's just get movies out every year. I think the one thing of note is really the standalone movie they're planning on having next year, which means they've got to start shooting sometime this year. Christian, what do you think of this news?
First of all, I do think it's credible just because it comes from the shareholder meeting and with Bob Iger. I think Bob Iger is one of the unsung heroes in this whole thing. I mean, in our business, people talk about it all the time, but a lot of the fans don't know what he's done. And I've been talking about this book. The editor, excuse me, I don't know if he's editor, but over at Mashable, Chris Taylor wrote the book, How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, and I just finished it. It's amazing, and it really goes into what Bob Iger did to he was the man to get Lucas to sell. He was the one that sat down with him, talked about it, how important Star Wars is a franchise, why he liked it, the sell of it, getting all the characters from the expanded universe, all of that stuff to really further it along. So to hear these comments is very encouraging to me as a Star Wars fan, because it means they said it from the beginning when they bought it. They're on track to make these movies. He's made it very clear here that the spin-offs coming next year, and then the year after that is Episode VIII, and then so on, so on, so on. Like you said, they're going to go the way of Marvel, and he's also the guy who purchased Marvel as well, too. So to hear him say it, yeah, I'm on board. I love it.
Mary?
Yeah, I think, barring any idea that maybe this isn't a credible site, maybe he didn't say these things, I think he probably did. I mean, it's why would they lie, like you were saying? I think in terms of the release dates, it makes a lot of sense. And of course, he's not going to come out and be like, yeah, so I saw the footage and, man, it's all right. I mean, of course he's going to say it's wonderful. But I actually do believe what he's saying is true. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. But just from what we've seen, I think it looks great. I think that first trailer that we saw, and I think J.J. Abrams' excitement, and I think his love for Star Wars in the universe is just, this is all increasing my already existing goodwill for the franchise that they're now reinvigorating and creating all these new films and these standalones, and I'm into it. I think it's great.
And then another thing of note, he says we'll finish this trilogy with Episode IX in 2019. So we know, okay, they're going to come out with these in trilogy, which we kind of suspected.
Yeah, we're going to be in old age homes, and they're going to be like,
that's
how it should
one
be.
thing, I can go cuckoo as long as they still are, I'm sitting there with tea and they're feeding me Star Wars movies. I'm good.
How do you feel about the standalone movies, though?
I love the standalone movies. I think I just look, there is something to be said about being a little nervous if eventually, because look what Marvel's doing. Marvel now is going to be putting 2 movies out a year. Will Star Wars do that eventually? Who knows? As of right now, I like where they're going. We don't even know what the first standalone film is. We speculate that the more and more we're hearing it's bounty hunter related and stuff too. Great. There's rumors of the Han Solo. So there's so much. That universe is so rich, and there's so many standalone movies they can do. They don't have to tie into the trilogies. So I think it's great that they're doing that. It's going to open up new fans that, Old Republic.
Well, I'm hoping for that one as well. But I think if those standalone films do very well, then they'll consider, okay, let's do 2 of them a year or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
But is there a point where it's too much of a good thing?
Well, I mean, that could be said about DC or just comic book movies in general. And we talked about this yesterday on the show. Is that right now? No, because it's going well. But
right now,
eventually, who knows? I mean, you put it if the standalone movies come out and they stink, and the trilogies are the ones people like, they're going to have to rejuvenate it. But this story team is on it right now. Like, it's all about team, and it's all about how they're making it move.
Cast.
Yeah. I'm pretty optimistic.
Me too.
Hey everyone, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.